Who knew that illegal migrant alien criminals could be so good at seduction? Apparently, they got something going on. When it comes to Democrats, Democrat men and women, they are swooning. They continue to swoon for these people who should not even be here. All right, first, of course, we have Senator Van Hollen making a fool out of himself all the way down there in El Salvador with a guy who's just not into you. Sorry, Chris. Next, please. This is the New Mexico Democrat judge who, for whatever reason, shacked up with another Tren de Aragua member, a violent criminal, known violent criminal. They just arrested the judge, by the way. And now our latest couple, although they're not together at the moment, we think they may soon be, perhaps both of them in jail. On the left is a judge, and on the right is an illegal alien criminal that the judge so smitten with, so taken with, let him go before the feds arrested him. Have you heard about this? Next, please. The judge is Hannah Dugan from the Wisconsin Circuit Court. She was elected back in 2016, a Democrat, reportedly a Democrat, and, she certainly acts like one. All right, here's the situation. She was arrested, okay, for giving an illegal alien criminal, the guy we were just talking about, Diaz Ruiz. Can I see his picture, please? Yeah, Eduardo Flores Ruiz. He was deported all the way back in 2013, and he went back to Mexico. We don't know how he got back here or when, but he was in court to face charges on domestic abuse, battery, strangulation, and suffocation. Domestic abuse. This is very, very serious stuff. All right, next, please. We have the Milwaukee Circuit Court. Now, as you know, ICE has been paying a lot of attention to these matters. There is a new sheriff in town, President Trump, Tom Homan, our country to be taken over by illegal alien criminals. So they've been aggressive about the paperwork, and they set out to go to this building. ICE was going to go to this building right here and make an arrest, all right? Because they knew that Diaz Ruiz was showing up, that he was going to actually be there. So ICE was going to show up and bust him, all right? Next slide, if you don't mind. ICE, they're very, very aggressive these days. They thought that it would be a good idea to go to the court, right? Diaz Ruiz was expected there anyway, and he'd have to go through security, and therefore ICE could be there. The building is public, right? It's not a private building, it's a public building. ICE described all this to the security guard. Hey, you got Diaz Ruiz coming. We're going to deport him, all right? We got things to talk to him about. After his court date for the domestic abuse charges, we are going to arrest him. Security guard is like, no problem, but I got to call my boss. And then all hell breaks loose, okay? The judge gets wind of this, and the judge comes out and confronts ICE and says, what are you guys even doing here? This is wrong. Oh, my gosh, she's so angry. Let me see your warrant. Here's our warrant. That's not the right warrant. I need another warrant. This is terrible. You guys, no. You got to go see my boss. So they send ICE to go see the chief judge, this guy, Carl Ashley. And ICE and Border Patrol, all right, they want to cooperate. So the judge, again, tells the ICE guys, go see the chief judge. So that's what they do. The ICE guys walk down the hall to go see the chief judge and explain the whole thing to him. But guess what? The chief judge is on the phone. Actually, then they're told he's left for the day. So he's no longer in the picture. So meanwhile, back in her courtroom, the judge is with Diaz Ruiz and says, we're going to get you out of here. We are. There's a back door here. And she put him, let him go. Let him go through the back door. And that's it. He's gone. And she just aided and abetted basically an escape of a criminal, thwarted an arrest. I mean, let's see, what do they got her? Obstructing a proceeding. Now, of course, the liberals find this outrageous, and they turned out in front of the building. Oh, the judge is great. ICE stinks. Free Hannah Dugan. Not that she was incarcerated, for crying out loud. I mean, I think they let her go in about 15 minutes with a desk appearance ticket. The media, whose side are they on here, right? Totally with the judge who let the criminal go.
Was this kind of escalatory action, was this the best course of action, to actually go and arrest her and take her to court and charge her federally? That's a big step.
This is the very first time we've ever seen a judge arrested like this. But seeing these on-camera videos of arrests at courthouses of immigrants that are there to adjudicate their immigration status is certainly new here.
This appears to be the first time the Trump administration has charged a sitting local official with obstructing immigration enforcement, at least that we know of.
Yeah, but that's what she did. It's interesting. All the lawyers on TV are like, yeah, it looks like she did something bad here. And I don't know if I explained that well enough. ICE had a warrant for this guy, all right? So they figured out he had a court date. And they thought, let's go to the courthouse to grab him because, number one, we know he won't be armed. It'll be a safer arrest. And it's a public space. Why not? We'll kill a couple of birds with one rock. And then they show up to effect the arrest. They're wearing, by the way, civilian clothes, right? They're not in their armored stuff or anything like that. And they let their presence be known to the security guard. The security guard makes phone calls. The judges get involved, and they let the criminal go. And ICE can't make the arrest. So she was arrested by the FBI. Now, former corrupt FBI agents don't think this is fair. Anybody remember Andrew McCabe, right? One of the Russia hoaxers, right? Well, he was on TV. He thinks this is appalling, but it's really rich coming from him, especially.
You know, a department that used to pride itself on letting the legal filings speak for themselves and not actively getting out on the media and essentially convicting someone in the court of public opinion.
That's what the FBI always did when he was there. He was the chief leaker, leaking everything about Trump and phony Russia hoax and collusion. That was him, a campaign against President Trump to sabotage his first term. Hey, what about Comey and the press conference that he shouldn't have had? Hillary, all of that stuff. These guys are always... Anyway, he thinks we don't know this. He looks down. He has no regard for the American people. Remember what his friend said at a Walmart. You can just smell the Trump stench or the MAGA people. Listen to this.
The FBI received authority to conduct immigration enforcement not long after September 11th, but there was a deliberate decision by FBI leadership not to authorize agents to actually use that authority.
All right, it was a little bit convoluted there. After 9/11, they changed the rules so the FBI could effect immigration arrests. Illegal immigrants could be arrested by the FBI, but they passed another rule that they actually didn't do it in practice. Another bureaucratic game. You know, we think that bureaucracies just want to increase and grow their power, but sometimes they want to pass the buck. If it's something they don't want to do, they don't want to get their hands dirty. So the FBI, one of the most sinister bureaucracies in the world, until recently, until Kash Patel got there, this is a game they would play, a bureaucratic game. After 9/11, you get the authority, but you don't use the authority. Why the hell not? That kind of, who knows how many terrorist attacks that might have thwarted if they were more aggressive. They were upset that Kash Patel tweeted about this, that he told the American people about this judge. I think we all needed to know. It's one other outrage.
I should also add that by spending their time enforcing immigration laws, there's a lot of other things, FBI things, that agents are not doing because they've been drawn away from those priorities.
Yeah, like going after January 6 people for the past 4 years. How dare you? How dare you? Other FBI things. You guys, this is why you're about to be canceled, all right? This is why we are radically overhauling the FBI. You sent a SWAT team to get a nonviolent first-time offender, alleged first-time offender, and a Marine hero, Christopher Cuny. How about that? They don't think anybody's going to remember, and most people don't, actually. Most people don't. All right. Next, please. Way too harsh. You hear what happened? Congressman George Santos has been sentenced to 7 years in jail. I don't think that's right. Here he is coming out of court, or maybe going into court, I forgot which. He's not in jail tonight. They're going to give him a couple of months to get his affairs in order and actually report to prison. I think he got a raw deal. They ultimately got him on some financial crimes, but this all started because he lied about being on the volleyball team in college. No kidding. That was about as bad as it got initially. Did he embellish his resume? So when he shows up as a freshman in Congress, it's the second or third day there. This is how they treat him.
Well, guys, we're going to need a little space here.
The New York Republicans are calling you a disgrace. You will not.
And what's your reaction to
He's been in office 11 days. He's not the most important in Washington, D.C. At that point, he hadn't been indicted, hadn't been arrested, had only been accused of exaggerating silly stuff and possibly misusing a campaign credit card. And they treated him like he was Jack the Ripper. It was totally insane. Ultimately, the ethics committee, this, that, and the other thing, they put him through hell. And I couldn't believe this. Republicans, sometimes, they fought like dogs to get him kicked out. They only had a 1 or 2 vote majority. Democrats would never do this to one of their own. In fact, they didn't. Just they went after him with such venom. Republicans.
He has lied to donors and to colleagues, taking advantage of election law, using campaign funds to personally benefit himself.
He fabricated his qualifications, his background, lied to the FEC, and unemployment fraud.
All right, these are kind of minor things to be getting all hysterical about, fellas, especially where you work. And you know what? I never was the biggest Kevin McCarthy fan, but he knew he had a thin majority, and he cut George Santos a lot of slack, and I appreciate that.
You know why I'm standing by him? Because his constituents voted for him. I do not have the power simply because if I disagree with somebody or what they have said, that I remove them from elected office. Now, I will hold him to the same standard I hold anyone else elected to Congress. If for some way when we go through ethics that he has broken the law, or then we will remove him. But it's not my role. I believe in the rule of law. A person's innocent till proven guilty. And if I was to hold the standard that if somebody lied, Joe Biden couldn't be president right now.
Makes a lot of sense, Kevin. He puts it in perspective, you do. But the Ethics Committee, and they had articles of expulsion, I guess, and yeah, they basically had a trial on the House floor. You saw the prosecutors, fellow Republicans, some. And here's George Santos himself. He was brilliant in defending himself. And I know a lot of people don't like him, but he did not deserve to be treated the way he was.
If tomorrow, when this vote is on the floor, it is in the conscience of all of my colleagues that they believe that this is the correct thing to do, so be it. Take the vote. I'm at peace. I have accepted that whether I get expelled or I don't, I have accepted that I cannot control that faith, Mr. Speaker.
Well, kind of a healthy attitude. He wasn't the only one fighting for himself, though. Some of my heroes in Congress, actually no longer there. Matt Gaetz is one of them. Man, that guy, he's great. Listen to this.
Mr. Speaker, whatever Mr. Santos did with Botox or OnlyFans is far less concerning to me than the indictment against Senator Menendez, who's holding gold bars inscribed with Arabic on them from Egypt while he is still getting classified briefings today. But he's not getting thrown out of the Senate. He's getting classified briefings under indictment for bribery. But what? Because Santos was buying Botox and OnlyFans, we got to throw him out?
He's absolutely right. As they hounded poor Congressman Santos, a United States senator with access to our most precious secrets, Menendez, was indicted, right? Indicted September 27th, 2023. And how was he treated after that? Like a United States senator. Here he is, addressing the floor about something totally not related to his indictment and corruption. This is, by the way, the second time he was indicted in Congress. Second time. Let's see here. Just, yeah, being a senator. Nobody gave him any problem.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.